Liz was reading and Peter had already gone to sleep. Then around 11 p.m., they were both jolted.
We got slammed into just horrendous, violent impact. I was thrown up into a sitting position and kind of scooted across the berth. And my wife was yelling, we got hit. And I was yelling, see if we're whole, see if we're taking on water.
Peter was in the aft cabin. The door slammed shut from the impact of another boat hitting them. He was unable to pry open the door. So Liz, who was in the forward cabin, went into action. She attempted to use the tools she could find, a putty knife and a screwdriver, but this was not helping.
So I was looking in the bilge. I went up on the top, on the deck to look at the hull and make sure we didn't have a hole in the side. And then I was trying to find tools to get him out. It's dark. And finally, I just slammed the door with my body and it popped open.
Finally, she just went full-on ninja and just bashed the door in and got me out of there. And that took about 10 minutes.
Peter said it was a stressful night.
I was just a little shell-shocked, I guess. Evidently, my wife had been yelling at me and I didn't respond. So I don't know if I don't know why I didn't respond. But when I was very concerned, we were thinking, I was pretty near panic because there was a small hatch above me, but I could only poke my head out, and I determined there was no way I'm fitting this body through that small hatch. And so I'm just, begging my wife to get me out of here at the same time she's trying to figure out there's holes.
Once Peter got out of the aft cabin, they continued to search the boat for damage.
And so then we inspected the damage above board, and it was pretty extensive. And we debated on just staying there for the rest of the night, even though we were pretty shook up and thought, well, no, let's go to Irish's boat shop, which was only about 1.5 miles across the lake.
The Brunings reported the incident to the Charlevoix County Sheriff's Department, and the U.S. Coast Guard came to help them back to land.
This person was obviously traveling really fast. Maybe they had autopilot on and weren't paying attention. Maybe they were drinking. I think there needs to be more boater education. So I guess my message is I wish powerboaters would slow down and be more vigilant.
That was Mary Jane Glynn reporting. And if you have any information on who the suspect may be in that situation, you were asked to call the Charlevoix County Sheriff's Office. Let's take a look at our question of the day. How would you grade boating safety in your community? Would you give it an A or an F? Of course, there's the in-betweens, B, C, D as well. Scan the QR code on your screen right now to vote. Then you can also head over to our Facebook page and leave a comment. It looks like right now the votes are pretty split, but majority at this point are giving their community a solid C in terms of boating safety. But as always, we will take a look at those results and any of your comments toward the end of the show. You can also vote by going to our website, UpNorthLive.com. All right, well, get your non-perishable food ready. There is a community food drive event with a pretty big goal to fill an entire school bus with donations. That is happening on Monday, August 18th. Mark your calendar at Keller Williams Northern Michigan Horizon in Harbor Springs. And the owner, Kim Porta of Keller Williams Northern Michigan Horizon, is joining us live now for more on this food drive. Thank you so much for being here, Kim.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So let's start off with who exactly is this food drive benefiting? Where will all this food go to?
So this is for the Northman Den Food Pantry. They have a few different food pantries all throughout Emmett County. They help kids to not go home hungry. So they bring their backpack, they fill food, take it home, and they have food for dinner or breakfast or whatever they might need.
Yeah, that's awesome. So why now? Why did you decide to host this food drive in the middle towards end of August?
I felt like it was a perfect time to help fill their pantries right before the start of the school year. Last summer, we did the same thing, but we didn't fill a bus. We just took as many donations as we could to their office. And this year, I'm like, why not try to do something big and fun? So.
Right. And school's right around the corner, too. So you're kind of tying in that element with the school bus. So do you have any idea like how many donations it will actually take to fill a school bus?
I don't. We've got a pretty good start. So we just unloaded some boxes today. I know we have some more coming in. Some people have called and said they want to drop some things off, but we partnered with Mercantile Bank. John Lyons is going to be here grilling hot dogs, and we'll have some sodas and some cookies. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to fill the bus. We'll see.
And again, that is happening in Harbor Springs on August 18th. But it sounds like if you can't make it out for the actual drive on that day, that you can still donate before or maybe even after?
Absolutely. I know they accept donations year round.
Okay.
We are collecting in the office if you have someone you want to stop by. Otherwise, I know the executive director I spoke with today, Liz McKinney, she said they'll take donations anytime.
And yeah, you have a big goal, trying to fill a school bus. What made you decide to shoot for that goal? You said last year you did get a lot of donations, but kind of going for bigger this year, it sounds like.
Yeah, so I kind of was inspired by my dad. He was a car dealer, and he annually did this fill the truck with toys for tots.
Sure.
And so I loved watching that. I loved his excitement for it. And I'm like, you know what? It's my turn. I get to try to do something fun now.
I love that idea. And when I first heard about this, you know, the title "Fill the Bus," you do think of toys or maybe like even school supplies since we're back to school. But I haven't heard of an event where it's actually for food donation. So I'm sure someone else has thought of it, but in my eyes, you are the original person who thought of this idea, and it is great.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm really excited about this.
Is there anything else that you want folks to know about the drive, or just any information about how they can donate, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I know the figure right now is that they feed up around 500 kids a week. And so they're expecting that number to go up a little bit this year. So if you have anything to bring in, please bring it. We'll take it. They have a list of their most needed items on their Facebook page, North Minden Food Pantry, or it's North Minden Youth Services, I think is what it's called. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kim, thank you so much for coming on Unscripted tonight and sharing a little more about the upcoming Fill the Bus food drive in Harbor Springs. Again, that is August 18th. That is a Monday. And we have more information over on our website as well, UpNorthLive.com. And we'll have to get a link to that list of all the top items that are needed. But we really appreciate you taking time to chat with us today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you. All right, switching gears now. The Leelanau Conservancy has been hard at work restoring natural elements to our many great forests and our many great natural areas. Meteorologist Trevor Robideau reports on the recent plantings of a once endangered tree that's actually native to northern Michigan.
Deep in Leelanau County is a beautiful natural area known as Palmer Woods. This forest stands out for its serenity and its significance in new scientific research and findings. Caleb Garone, a land steward, helped plant a new wave of trees that were once almost completely extinct, the American elm.
Elm was a foundational tree species in our forest, so it was one of the dominant tree species. And I think folks, maybe to understand kind of how the elm within our forest, if you think about the ash that we've lost over the last couple decades, it was kind of a similar pattern with how prevalent elm was and then how much elm we lost over that time frame.
Dutch elm disease, or DED, decimated the population, leaving only a select few elm trees still standing, which became known as survivor elms. Decades later, conservationists and state agencies decided it was time to bring the species back. Palmer Woods is a planting grounds for a new wave of elms that are resistant to DED.
We have these researchers for the last 25 years that have been working with these survival elms, taking cuttings, growing them out in seed orchards, and taking cuttings from many different trees. So within these seed orchards, you get cross-pollination and create really strong genetics of these elm trees.
The Leelanau Conservancy, in partnership with the U.S. Forest Service, is also trying a new substance called biochar. It's new scientific research to see if this substance can help elm trees better survive.
There's not a lot of research as far as the effectiveness, but it does help with water retention and nutrient retention. And that's something, especially in our sandy soils, we're seeing how effective or how much that improves survivalship.
Garone says all of this is only possible with help from the community and is a shining example of what we can do to enhance forest health and improve biodiversity if we work together.
For an organization like ours, it takes community support to support this work and keep this going. We're a nonprofit land trust, so it's the community that supports us and helps make this work happen.
In Leelanau County, Trevor Robideau, Up North Live News.
All right, I have a couple questions for you. Are you interested in challenging yourself with obstacle courses? What about zip lines? No? Well, maybe a game of mini golf? More your speed instead? Well, if your answer was yes to any or all of those choices, then this week's Exploring Michigan destination just might be the perfect place for you. Deshaun Johnson takes us on a journey to an outside obstacle course that some say is unlike any other.
We're a high ropes course with an amazing miniature golf course called the Putt Forest and our brand new addition, the Bounce Forest.
Located on the grounds of Oakland University in Rochester is a hidden adventure park that is ready to offer up a challenge both physically and mentally.
You can't Google the answers. It's all critical thinking, it's all creative problem solving, and it really offers something that I don't think you can get very many other places.
Welcome to Tree Runner Adventure Park.
There's something here at this park and all of our parks in Michigan for every single age. We start at age 2 and we've had up to age 95 or 96.
Chief Financial Officer Jeremy Fishman says the fan favorite at this location is the obstacle course, also known as the aerial forest. It has 9 courses with different levels of difficulty. But before you get into action, you have to get some training.
We run you through how to use your clips, make sure that you know how all of our different types of elements work, and then we'll take you through a practice line.
Operations Director Colette Bockrith says safety is the top priority in the aerial forest, and parents taking part in the course agree.
It looks a little dangerous, but it does feel very safe, and the zip lines are my favorite part, if I'm being honest.
Not up for that kind of adventure? Well, you've got other options for a fun time.
The Putt Forest is a completely natural miniature golf course that's set in the woods using, again, natural materials.
This mini golf course uses the woods layout for its structure, providing for a unique experience.
It's a real challenge. It's made by golfers for golfers.
The course is also all natural, so everything used to build it could be returned to nature at any time.
That's something that we take a lot of pride in.
Finally, the park's newest addition is the Bounce Forest, a net enclosure that provides an experience similar to a trampoline park.
Net parks are really new to the United States. There's not very many that we're aware of, if at all. And it's a ton of fun for families, and it's a great alternative to be outside.
During the summer, Tree Runner Adventure Parks will be open throughout the week with 3 convenient Michigan locations. One here in Rochester, another in West Bloomfield, and the final in Grand Rapids. If you'd like to learn more about their hours or their parks, you can head to their website, treerunnerparks.com. For Exploring Michigan, I'm Deshaun Johnson.
Looks pretty fun. Might have to make a trip downstate for that pretty soon. We are going to take a quick break, but coming up next, Joe will have much more on your weekend forecast. Stay with us.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Well, we made it to our Friday, so all eyes are on the weekend. If you have any outdoor plans, it looks like it will be a pretty nice weekend besides that lingering haze in the sky. But Joe, despite that, we know it'll at least be dry and pretty sunny, right?
Yeah, lots of sunshine. It's just, yeah, if we didn't have the haze and smoke, I think it'd be picture perfect. You know what I mean? But we do have to deal with that. There's still some overhead, and that'll be a bit of an issue here the next couple of days. It was chilly this morning. I know I was in bed. We work late hours. But here's a look at the low temperatures last night into this morning. That temperature of 44 at Gaylord tied the record low for the date. Grayling got to 41. Roscommon and Atlanta, I believe, were down to 39. Again, that was last night. But things have warmed back up into the 70s. We do have an air quality alert for, well, our entire viewing area. And we'll pencil it in right there. The entire UP, Wisconsin, Lower Michigan, that'll continue through pretty much the weekend. Coming up here as we do have intervals of smoke passing through. Let's take a look at that first. Here's a look at where that smoke is now. We kind of actually got rid of this for a while late yesterday into this morning, but it's kind of starting to cycle back toward northern Michigan. So the upper level winds are kind of pushing this back. There's tomorrow afternoon. And you can see some smoke. And see how it thickens up tomorrow night? So this is tomorrow evening. Probably pretty thick for a while. Smoke and haze. And then some of that's going to carry over into Sunday. So, yeah, we have to deal with that. But it is dry. Here's a look around the Midwest as far as any rain and clouds. And not much. Way up north Lake Superior. A couple sprinkles out in South Dakota. You can kind of see the edge of that yellow box. That is a severe thunderstorm watch out there. Right out through here. Some pretty big storms there. And then down here, north of, well, including Cheyenne, north of Denver, tornado watch there. But as we look at our chances for rain, look close because there's not much. Maybe Monday afternoon. I know it looks like it's at 0 pretty much, but we might along the Lake Breeze squeeze out a brief afternoon shower. But even that would be very, very hit and miss. So tonight, clear skies, same thing tomorrow. There's Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, Sunday. Gorgeous weather. Just keep in mind, though, that, again, we have that smoke overhead and haze. Harbor Days continuing. Look at that, 75 tomorrow. Tomorrow, I believe, is the parade. And then Sunday is usually the day they clean things up, 81 degrees. Nice weather there. It stays dry. And we'll jump to the other side of the state to Rogers City, the Nautical City Festival going on. 78 tomorrow. Mostly sunny, a little bit of smoke, and then 82 there in Presque Isle County on Sunday. All right, the extended forecast. Here is what that is shaping up to look like. Smoke and haze through the weekend. Pretty warm, too. A lot of 80s just about each day, even some mid and upper 80s later in the forecast. I did put in Monday, chance for an isolated afternoon shower. I wouldn't plan on it, though. Just a small chance. It looks pretty dry, pretty warm here, Maya, for the start of August.
All right, Joe, thank you so much for that weather update. Let's take another quick break, but don't go anywhere just yet. Sports Director Harrison Beebe will be joining me in just a couple minutes. We will break down the Lions preseason game from yesterday and look ahead to the upcoming Tiger series coming up next. The Lions' first preseason game yesterday against the Chargers did not go exactly well. Probably not how they were hoping it would go, but it is just a preseason game, and I don't think anyone should freak out about it just yet. Don't hit the panic button yet. Let's bring in sports director Harrison Beebe for more on that. And Harrison, as you mentioned in 6, none of the starters actually played, so I think that's why we don't need to panic just yet.
No, and the starter viewer yourself, you never miss a Lions game. You were pretty checked out when I got back from Pittsburgh's last night. What game were you playing with NFL quarterbacks during the game last night?
I was conducting a very important research project related to NFL starting quarterbacks that I'm not ready to discuss at this time.
Oh, well, I thought I'd trap you, but yeah, it looked like a fun game. Lions, not such a fun game, but yeah, preseason, we talked about this last night. You just want to see some football on the field. You're not so much concerned about X's and O's you are concerned about, but wins and losses and really creating a championship level team. That's not done in July 31st or August 1st. I like to quote all the time, the 2008 Detroit Lions went 4-0 in the preseason and went 0-16 in the regular season. So clearly those two sides do not match well as far as success in wins and losses. But you know what? You're getting a lot of those guys playing time, and I think the real question mark coming out of this one is the backup quarterback position between Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen. Who is going to be that number 2 signal caller if something happens to Jared Goff throughout the year? But Maya, I think you and I even talked about a little earlier today. If this team's missing Jared Goff, there's going to be a lot of problems besides just who's going to be the number 2 quarterback.
We must protect that man at all costs.
Yes. So fear not, another Lions preseason game will be next week against Atlanta, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more to talk about next week than just what happened last night. Tigers, though, a perfect example. We thought the Tigers were going to be lost for the season a week ago, and now they're back into the mix, winning 4 straight, coming off a trade deadline where they acquired a lot of pieces. How are those pieces going to do? Well, so far so good if you're Chris Paddock of the starting pitching variety from Wednesday's game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And as you can see in the standings, the Tigers, it's a lot closer than it was back in early July, but they still have a 9-game lead with 50 games to go. So things are looking good for the Tigers at the moment, starting a series with the Phillies tonight.
Yeah, we'll take a 9-game lead and hopefully just keep building on that, but can't be mad about that. All right, Harrison, thank you so much. Looking forward to those highlights tonight at 11. We're going to take a break right now, but check out the live results for our question of the day in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Earlier in the show, we shared with you the story of a hit and run involving a boat in Charlevoix County. So that prompted our question of the day. How would you grade boating safety in your community? You can see all of the results on your screen right now. It looks like a lot of people, 32%, are going just average, a C, 21% B, and 20% D. You can still vote by scanning the QR code on your screen right now or heading to our website, UpNorthLive.com. But we are all out of time here on Unscripted. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday evening, and we hope to see you back here at 11 o'clock tonight.